Hello, people of the internet. It is I, GareBear890, back again with another video. So, my last video was a one-year update with the PS5, and that got me thinking about the PS4 and all the good times I had there. And by good times, I mean games. So, I thought I would do my top 10 favorite PS4 exclusives. Now, some of them have made their way to PC, but they are still console exclusive to the PS4. So anyway, starting us off, we got The Last Guardian, a game that I thought would never see the light of day, unfortunately. But fortunately, it did. So it was originally going to be on the PS3, and it's by the same studio that brought us the masterpieces Ico and Shadow of the Colossus. So I was really excited about this game, and was really sad when it just kind of dropped off the face of the earth. But then, boom, we got this surprise trailer, and it came out. And I think it's a phenomenal game for sure. One that I thoroughly enjoyed. And it's just really immersive. You know, just like the previous two games the studio made. They just do so well with the detail and creating these really unique worlds that are just so mysterious. But yeah, like, it's really cool being able to work with Trico and, like, solving all the puzzles. And it was interesting, though, because initially I would start playing and I would really like it. But then I would start getting frustrated because Trico loses interest and he wanders off, and so you have to get him back and get him to do, you know, whatever it is you need him to do. And I luckily stumbled across a message board, and some people were kind of grieving the same thing. And some people were like, when you find yourself getting frustrated and you're just trying to solve the puzzle rather than, like, enjoy the game, like, that's a good stopping point. Like, you know, the whole idea is that Trico is real and he reacts like how an animal would react. And so I started playing like that, and it was just so much more enjoyable, and I could really appreciate the detail they had put into that. So yeah, that's really what made it memorable for me. Okay, now this was the first game that I bought. I got my PS4 in a bundle. It came with some pretty great games. But this was the first one that I bought separately. And that is Killzone Shadowfall. So I had played Killzone 1, 2, and 3 on the PS3, and I really liked them. You know, I remember the visuals of Killzone 2 especially, like, blew my mind. But as first-person shooters go, I just felt like they were a little bland sometimes. Just like gameplay wise, because it was just like, okay, kill all these enemies, move up, kill all these enemies, move up. And so when I played Mercenaries on the PS Vita, that was like, okay, no, they've like brought it to the next level finally. Like, it still had like the really cool story and the Hellgast and, you know, all that stuff going on. But they just added so many more gameplay elements, and then this one took it to the next level. And obviously, visually, I remember it blew my mind. And I just thought it was a really great game. Okay, now this one, a bit controversial, you know. Some didn't like it, some did like it. But if you haven't played it, then I don't care. You gotta give it a chance, because I did, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and that is Death Stranding. I was originally going to hold off on this game, because I just didn't know what to make of it. I think no one did. And I couldn't help myself. Like, night of release, I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'm just going to do it. And I went down, and I picked it up. And I'm glad I did, because it was just really cool to be a part of, like, the first wave of players to work together to, you know, build the bridges and the world and the roads and all that stuff. And the story, I thought, was really unique. At first, I was like, this is a little convoluted. Like, I feel like it's just Kojima, you know, going crazy. But once it all kind of wraps up at the end, I was like, nah, that's actually really cool. And one of the best parts of the game, in my opinion. But, you know, there was a lot of people trying to say, oh, it's just a walking simulator. But I feel like anyone who's, like, saying that and being 100% serious are just the people that really didn't play it. You know, either they didn't play it or they played it just for a little while. But it's like, the more you go, it's just cool to pick up, you know, multiple routes, and then you plan, you know, which direction you're going to go first, and, you know, which place you're going to go next, and what equipment you're going to need, and what you're going to have to watch out for. So, I don't know. I just felt like there was just a lot more to it than people think. And, yeah, just a very unique and cool game. Alright, then we got Infamous Second Son, which was a launch title, and I actually got with my bundle. And this was the first game that I played, and it did not disappoint. It even holds up today, in my opinion. Like, even graphically, like, it's impressive. Like, all the character animations, especially the facial animations of Delson. And then traversing the world, and just the story was cool. So yeah, I really had a good time with this. Entering the next gen at the time. Alright, here's another controversial one, but I feel like it falls under the same category. Like, if you haven't played it and really given it a chance, then your opinion is not really valid. Because Days Gone did not do so well when it was initially released, as far as review scores go. But I picked it up day one, and I did not regret that. And I know that there was like a pretty big patch day one that really fixed a lot of issues that the reviewers unfortunately had to deal with. And so that was kind of an unfortunate thing that happened, because a lot of people were like, oh, it's a terrible game. But it's like, no, if you play it, it's actually a really cool and fun game. Because there's just like lots of ways that you have to strategize how you're going to go about it. Having the right weapons, making sure your bike is fueled up and ready to go, and just like checking your surroundings. And the missions were really cool, and the story was really interesting. And then once it starts getting a little repetitive, then they introduce, horde hunting, taking out entire hordes of freakers. And that just like totally kind of revamped the game and just kept it fresh until the end when it all kind of wrapped up. So yeah, this was definitely one of my favorite games that came out that year, and one that I look forward to replaying soon. Okay, now this one I feel like, everybody just loved it, and for good reason. That is Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, just such a beautiful game. Everything about it is just like so intricate and immersive. And if you want to feel like a samurai, all you gotta do is play this game, because just everything about it is so authentic feeling. And yeah, just a really great game that I had a ton of fun with. Okay, then we got Horizon Zero Dawn, which I picked up day one. And initially, it was like no denying that I liked the gameplay. It's in the same vein as like Uncharted, Tomb Raider, that kind of genre. But it just was like, okay, well, here's another game that, yeah, it's great, but I don't know if it's going to be as memorable as those. Well, I was wrong, because once the story gets going and you start understanding things, I think it's really unique and really cool, and just kind of blew me away in the end. And then the DLC that they came out with was like just as good. Added a whole new area, and you had new machines to take down, and so yeah, this was just a really great game, and I'm really excited for the next one that is just on the horizon. Okay, another controversial one. Now, but this one, I don't think it should be controversial. You don't have to love the story of every game or agree with every decision that the writers made. But I feel like this one, like, it makes sense. I'm talking about The Last of Us Part 2. The Last of Us blew everybody away, and is a lot of people's favorite game. It's one of my favorites for sure. And so I was very much looking forward to this. And once people, started talking and leaks were getting out and everyone was saying all sorts of crazy stuff, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to pay attention to any of it. I'm not going to read any articles. I'm not going to watch any videos. Nothing. And I don't know how I managed to do it, but I did. I literally played this game going in 100% blind, like no, thoughts put into my head of what it was going to be or what it should be or anything like that. And I'm actually really happy about that, because I feel like I just got this, incredible, authentic experience. And I love the game. Like, it took everything to the next level, and it was almost a little too real at times for me, because just the combat is so brutal, and like the story really has a lot of twists and turns, and kind of can make you cringe at times, but also, in the end, it's just an experience, and Naughty Dog is really good at delivering a great experience. And there's no denying that with Uncharted 4, or any of the Uncharted games. Lost Legacy could easily be in my hand right now. That's a phenomenal game that I really love the open world aspect of that, kind of exploring more if you chose to do so. But Uncharted 4 was just such a masterpiece. Because I played the original trilogy multiple times, and I was so excited for 4, and it definitely lived up to the hype. Like, graphically, it still holds up today, and it's just such an incredible game. So yeah, Uncharted 4. Alright, last but not least, this should be no surprise, God of War 2018. So, as I have said many times, I am a diehard God of War fan. I have been there since God of War 1 on the PS2, and played every single game since. So, I was, definitely excited about this. Picked it up day one, and it did not disappoint. Just an incredible world, incredible storytelling, really cool characters. I am psyched for Ragnarok. Can't wait to see where it goes. But yeah, I had a blast playing this, and actually just replayed it last year, and yeah, still just as good as I remember. So that's gonna do it for my top 10 PS4 games. A lot of great games. There's still plenty back there that could be on this list, and it could just keep going because there's just so many good games. But yeah, what are some of your favorites? What are some of your favorite memories with the PS4? But that's gonna do it. So thanks for sticking around, and as always, have a good one.